Hello SLAPAFISH community and welcome back to another World Tanks console video. So in this video I'm going to be doing a tank review on the T26E5 Patriot. And yesterday I did a tank review on the Vengeance, and tomorrow I'll be doing a tank review on the Freedom. Why am I doing a tank review on these tanks? It's because there's an earn op going on from June the 30th to July 14th that you'll be able to win the Freedom, the Patriot, or the Vengeance. And all you got to do is complete 7 stations. You got to do 5,000, then 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, then 50,000. Then you get to choose from a Freedom, a Patriot, and a Vengeance. Or you can just buy it out. Yeah. So the Patriot, the one I'll be talking about now, is 12,890 gold for a bundle. It has... Let me scroll up to it right quick. Armor that what Wargaming says it has. Armor that stands up to hit after hit. A gun that shreds enemy tanks. A design that's perfect for hold downs to tactics. Oh my goodness, I couldn't say tactics. So, let's go see how much that is true by comparing the T26E5 Patriot to other American heavy tanks of the same tier at tier 8. The T26E5 Patriot, I'm going to be saying I'm comparing to the T32, and yes, I'm using the fully upgraded T32 with the 105mm gun, to the T34, and to the M6A2E1, the Mutant / Bogcore. Also, the only tank on here that is a preferential matchmaking tank is the Mutant. You gotta remember that this tank right here plays up to only to 9, so this tank only meets tier 9s. You gotta remember that, okay? So as you can see, the Patriot actually has the lowest amount of hit points. Only thing that has the highest is the 32. It has the highest frontal armor except for the Mutant. It's got okay side armor. It's got the worst turn armor. It's the lightest. It also has the highest DPM, highest rate of fire, lowest reload time. Its DPM is 2,000. Aim time is 2.3, which is the best in this comparison, only getting beat out by the Mutant. The accuracy is 0.38, which is the second worst in this comparison. There's your dispersions while moving the tank. The Patriot gets a 90mm gun, but the 32 gets a 105, T34 gets a 120, and the Mutant gets a 105. This Patriot carries a lot of ammo at 70 rounds. That is a lot of rounds, and yeah. So the APC, you actually, for your standard ammunition, you get APCR. APCR is known to lose penetration over distance. But yeah, as you can see, 230 at 100 meters, but when you're firing 500 meters, it's 210. And also you're doing 240 damage. Speed is 1021, which is kind of slow for APCR. For your premium round, you get APCR. Again, you get 259 millimeters of penetration, but you lose 31mm of penetration while firing at 500 meters. 500 meters, and you still do 240 damage. High explosive pin is 45. If you can actually pin it, it's 320 damage. It's pretty fast high explosive. Well, it's the slowest in this comparison, but it's a pretty fast high explosive. The Patriot goes 40.2 forward and 15 backwards. It also has the highest horsepower per ton, best terrain resistance is here, and hold traverse is 30 degrees, turn transverse is 25 degrees. You have 10 degrees of gun depression and 20 degrees of gun elevation. You have 390 view range. Your camo kind of sucks with only 2% while having the camo bonus, and a 5% while having a camo net. So I actually want to say the credit multiplier for this tank is 57%, but and also the XP bonus for this tank is 10%. This right here is actually wrong. It's 10%. They buffed it to give it 10%. So, yeah. So now we actually get to look at the armor. Remembering, okay, I'm using the T26E5 Patriot to be firing at the Patriot. So, let's see what it can actually do to itself. Not that button. Click OK. So, we're firing with APCR. It's standard round at 230 millimeters of penetration, which is pretty good, which is pretty nice for a tier 8. So, as you can see, your whole armor, even though it has 152 millimeters of armor right there, thickness, it's not really good because it's not really angled that much, as you can see. Yeah, the angling on that is pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. So, it's only 209 millimeters effective. Also, remember how I said the turn armor is also the weakest here at 191? Yeah, as you can see, you get pinned around here at 223, 249. Your Capolar actually probably will ricochet some things. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But also, when you're using your gun depression, or your 10 degrees of gun depression, you get hold down, your frontal armor actually gets to start blocking shots. But what actually happens when you use your premium rounds at 259 penetration? More of it starts lighting up. Also, the gun mantlet is 280 millimeters of penetration. I mean, you need 280 millimeters of penetration to actually go through the gun mantlet, which is not very good. Oh, there's a 399, 415. I mean, if they shoot right below your gun, they're going to start bouncing. Maybe up here, yeah. If they hit your gun mantlet flush, like right in this area, they're going to easily penetrate it, especially if they load premium. But if they don't hit it flush and hit here or here, they're going to ricochet. Now, 259 millimeters of penetration while using 10 degrees of gun depression. And yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, now sight scraping, how does that work? It gets pretty good. Oh wait, let me turn this off. Pretty good. Your frontal armor gets at 215, and you have a weak point right here at 193. I actually can't tell how thick this does because this website doesn't register when you sight scrape, which is dumb. Oh yeah, if you also wonder, I'm using watinspector.com. You should actually use it because it's a really cool website. But yeah, apparently sight scraping in the tank is pretty nice. You just gotta remember about that weak point and try to jilt back and forth. And now that's pretty much about it about the tank comparison and the tank armor. Let's actually get to see how this tank actually fights in real battles. Okay, so we ended up on caster ring, and yes, we are top tier. So, I actually carry 36 rounds of standard, 30 premium, and 4 high explosives, since this tank actually carries a lot of ammo. And the equipment I'm using is a gun rimmer, gun lean drive, and coated optics. And my crew is swimming lessons, controlled impact, off-road driving, smooth ride, deadeye, snapshot, brothers in arms, mentor, repairs, sixth sense, and it's training adrenaline rush. And I think this is my T49's crew with the derp gun. So yeah, that's how that goes. So what I'm thinking about doing with the T26E5 Patriot is try to use the gun depression and try to get since I am top tier, I should be able to use my gun depression, and hopefully my turret armor will hold on. So that's what I'm hoping right now. So when you do get hold down and using your gun depression, you don't want to stay perfectly still, because like I said before, that they can actually pin you through your turret, on the outer ridges of it, You'll see it during this replay. But you gotta, like, jilt back and forth, like I do right here. I'm jilting, like, back and forth. You don't really notice it, but when I see, like, somebody aiming at me, I'll just start doing it. So it makes it a harder target for them to hit. Especially, and also I gotta mention that this tank is one of those tanks that actually goes up to tier 10. So, yeah. Now, this tank actually gets 230 millimeters of penetration, so the mutant's armor is kind of going useless because I can actually pin him like certain places, but now he's using his gun depression and making his armor really tough. And now my gun just got knocked out for the second time. And yeah, this is what's happening. I don't have a gun now. Well, my gun's inaccurate. So that's one of the flaws about going hold down, that people will start aiming, especially when you're gun mantlet and your turret armor. It's like some parts of it's like green. I mean, like some parts of it can be actually pinned, and people will start shooting there, and your gun will get in the way and block it. And especially when you have a 90 millimeter caliber gun, and that was a high explosive that pinned me through the mantlet. What did pin? It just kind of splashed there, but yeah. A 90 millimeter gun won't take that much damage to break. A 90 millimeter gun is a lot easier to break than a 155 millimeter gun. So that's what I'm trying to say. And the Chieftain T95 knocked my gun out again. So you got to expect that your gun's going to get knocked out a lot with this tank. Now, somebody actually pinned me, and as you can see at the top left of my gun mantlet, they actually pinned there because, yeah, they actually get the shot off. I don't know if they were firing premium, and that might have been artillery. I think it was. But now I've just loaded premium rounds so I can actually deal with this Diamondback. Well, I can actually hit. You can actually pin the Diamondback's lower plate with your standard rounds, but since I have like a damaged gun, and it's a lot harder for me to hit, I just started loading premium so I can actually try to hit it. Now I'm kind of side-scraping it against this Diamondback, trying not to put my whole armor out there, like frontal whole armor. Just trying to show them my sights, and hopefully they'll just ricochet off my sights. And there's artillery again, just splashed me. It's only a tier 6 artillery, so it's not really going to do too much. And now there's just cleanup, pretty much. Okay, so I skipped forward because there was a lot of driving, and basically, yeah, I went to go back to the base, tried to defend it because the T-34-100 is over there, and now we get to fire at a T-29 that's actually in the open. So the DPM on this tank is really good. It's 2,000, like I said before, so you can actually feel it and like tear people apart. It's nice. So basically with this tank, you want to try to hold down as much as possible, especially when you're top tier, but don't sit completely still. Like, move forward and backwards so they can't really aim at your weak points on your turret, and just let your gun just tear people apart. That's basically how you play this tank. When you're in towns, when you can't get hold down, try to side scrape and don't let them shoot the front of your tank. But anyway, we made 80,000 silver, did 2,800 damage, and blocked 3,300 damage. And if I remember correctly, we got top of the leaderboard, and yes, we did. Alright guys, if you like this video, remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, SLAPAFISH, and why was that? And peace out, see ya.